It's a double duty weekend here from Talladega Superspeedway. Trucks and Cup Series racing for us on the way. Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. I hope you're all having a great day. We've got some Superspeedway pack racing for the third time this season on your way. Part-time drivers in the field this weekend include Justin Allgaier once again after a great run last episode in Phoenix. David Gilliland for the Tricon 46 making his second start of the season. As you see, winner from Phoenix last episode, Christopher Bell, holding off Alex Bowman and others in Phoenix. Alex Bowman really been the top driver of the last few races, top three in the last three. As we come through into qualifying, we immediately skip it because we know where we're going to end up. So we'll be starting from the back in our target number 8 Cadillac for Junior Motorsports as we get through and looking towards the top 10 now, and you can see Ryan Preece rounding out the top 10 as at the top of the board, Austin Hill, your last season winner here out in front. Before we go truck racing, we had breaking news that we found out after qualifying. NFL quarterback Lamar Jackson has filed a lawsuit against my car in Junior Motorsports for the font of the number 8, demanding we must change the font going forward into potentially next season or sooner. This is an ongoing development that we will hear more about as this regular season progresses, but we know very little at this point other than that original lawsuit now as we head into some truck series action. We're in the Nice Target 45 Chevy Silverado from the back of the field, looking to win again here. Now we've already got one win on the truck series side of things this season. That was at Sonoma Raceway in that sweep weekend. Of course, just the second driver in Cup Series history to do the triple sweep, of course, with the truck race, Xfinity race, and the Cup race, and it all took place there at the road course in Sonoma. Our second win of the Cup season, that one, and most recent one was as well, as we continue on here. So, of course, just trying to move our way forward here in these early moments of stage one. Only a few laps of racing per stage in the first two stages, at least in the truck series now, as we came through this tri-oval down the front stretch and losing out right as we were coming to the line, but it's still going to be at least up to P21 from the back of the grid. But right on the after the caution, you can actually see my driver AI runs into the back of Doug Barnes Jr., which means we got the Heat 5 glitch. So on the start of stage 2, truck doesn't go, meaning we go all the way to the back of the field, and we would have to make up all of that track position here. So we spent the 2 laps doing exactly that. On this final lap here of stage 2, a big run on all the trucks in front of us. There's Daniel Hemrick on the outside and that Andretti Global Honda as we head down this front stretch here. And we're not going to be where we left off, of course, at the end of stage 1, but we're still going to find at least a decent position to be in going into stage 3, and that was P26 there at the end of the stage. And we would quickly start moving our way forward here in the start of stage 3, now up into the top 25, and I was pretty confident we could work our way forward, at least into the mix of things before this race came to a close. It wasn't going to be easy, but we just had to stay on top of things now and just continue to put ourselves in a favorable position now, as you can see, forcing it 4 wide on Colby Howard there and just going for it, just trying to get any position that I can as well. You don't know if a caution is going to come out. A caution comes out at this point, it's going to be a 2-lap dash, so wanting to avoid that, of course, but we eventually work our way all the way up into the top 10 with just 4 laps to go. And you see a lot of battling there in front of us. Ben Rhodes up front, Ty Majeski right there in front of us now as we come through 1 and 2 down this back straightaway, and now up into P7. And as we continue to follow Majeski and others, we would enter the top 5 as the caution would come out from 5th position with 4 laps to go, forcing a 2-lap sprint. So we started on the inside, and we would quickly find ourselves on the bumper of Ty Majeski approaching the final lap pushing him to the lead and then pushing him out of the way for the lead. Now maybe a little bit aggressive there on Majeski, a truck regular, of course, full-time driver, but we would take the lead from him and Ben Rhodes starting the final lap here. Myatt Snyder in the 38 there in the mix as well, but as we came out of turn 4 down the front straightaway for the second time this season, in position, in command through the tri-oval, we're gonna win in Talladega in the Truck Series for Nice in this number 45 Target Silverado. What a start to the weekend. Can we complete the double? Xfinity's not racing at all this weekend, which is why we can't try a triple, but we can at least still attempt to sweep the weekend. We've won Talladega before in a Cup car. Can we do it again here in Season 5 as we burn it down in that Target number 45? Looking at the finishing order, finishing directly behind us was Jake Garcia. Shout out to him in the 22. He was one that pushed us out in front. So, yeah, huge shout out to him as you see the rest of the finishing order. Now it's time for some Sunday Cup Series racing on the Super Speedway here in Talladega.
Austin Hill is set to lead the field to the green flag as he looks to repeat his win here from last season.
We've got Gary Owen on the radio to talk to us. Gary, what's your thoughts on the lawsuit with Lamar Jackson?
Who?
He was an NFL player.
Well, Brad, in Canada, we usually watch hockey over NFL, so I have no idea who he is. But from what I have heard, it sounds like both him and I have the same amount of Super Bowls. So.
All right, good luck today.
So we get asked pre-race from Brad Kozlowski over the radio just about the lawsuit from Lamar Jackson towards our number 8 car and as well Junior Motorsports as well. But nonetheless, we're ready to go racing here from Talladega Super Speedway. The green flag is out. We're racing here as Austin Hill looks to repeat winning last season at this racetrack and do it again here today. The only difference now is, of course, we talked about it previously, you've got to be in the top 30 this season again to be in the playoffs. NASCAR brought that rule back this season, so if you're not in the top 30, you're not in the playoffs, even with a victory. Now, as we know, this type of track is the perfect recipe for someone outside the top 30, maybe just inside the top 30, to find victory lane as well, as we are in line with that 22 of Joey Logano down this back straightaway. Eric Jones to the lead early on over Austin Hill, but he would lose it pretty quickly to that 3 car into turn 3. Jones won back in the Daytona 500. They've had a solid season for Front Row Motorsports as they, of course, downsized to a 1-car full-time team, and I think that's going to really help that team as this season progresses on as we come through this tri-oval. As well, some more news. We thought that there might be a chance for Christian Eckes to be back in the car in Talladega. Not the case, but it is confirmed 100%. Christian Eckes will be back in the car next episode in Road America. So he's going to miss 4 entire races, putting that 6th team in likely a position of must-win after a very strong start to his 2nd season in the Cup Series and 1st season with a competitive team of RFK. So really unfortunate there, and maybe a bit of a momentum blow to the entire team even now, as Chris Buescher there lined up just behind us in the number 17. He spun out after blowing a tire right beside me in Phoenix last episode and end up, of course, out of the race because of that incident after he plowed into the outside wall. So it's been a bit of a rough start to the season for RFK. I mean, if you compared them to last season, so I'm really curious to see where they end up, you know, as we continue on through the season. But it was a team that was really on an upswing, and now they kind of seem to be fading a little bit into the background now as we look to the inside of the number 60 of Justin Haley. He's not looking any better than he was last season. It's not been a good, you know, season and a half, you could say, just about for Haley, and wouldn't be surprised if we saw him, if this performance continues out of that car, maybe even before the season's over. It's been a disastrous start to the year for Justin Haley. I think Kozlowski and that team should be looking at alternative options sooner rather than later. But a driver maybe in that car you think, you know for certain, can win a race and put that team in the playoffs and claw their way into the top 30 in points. But you never know. Haley is proven to win. Haley, as horrible of a season he had last season, he won 2 races at Phoenix and, of course, at last time we came here. Talladega. Won two races this season before as well. Justin Haley's won 4 races in the last 2 seasons, and we're talking about his ride being in jeopardy now as we continue into the top 10 already on lap 7 of 14 to the inside of my teammate Noah Gregson. Pit stops are coming in these next handful of laps if we stay green. Connor Zilish out in front right now. He's got a few tracks that he's not necessarily the most comfortable in. Plate racing, of course, Talladega, but he is going to be very strong alongside Shane Van Gisbergen in the next 2 races. We've got back-to-back road courses coming up with Road America as well as Mid-Ohio, so we've got some very exciting episodes on the way. Those 2 road courses are probably some more of the wildest road courses. Road America is so long, but the way that track's set up with the AI and the way they race in this game, it's usually pretty wild. Mid-Ohio always has some wild spice to that race, and usually I get bulldozed off the racetrack, so we'll wait and see what happens there. But nonetheless, we're going to cycle through into P2, passing Logano, following that Valvoline 24 Cadillac of William Byron, but pit stops are going to kick off here within the next couple of laps at this point. But we've gotten up into second position, so really couldn't ask for a whole lot more as we're right on the back of this 24, 5 laps to go in the stage as we come through now 3 and 4 now on the end of lap 10, closing up to the back of this 24. Are we going to see any pit stops this lap? Looking in the mirror, not quite, but there's a car on the wall. Nick Sanchez goes around, he'll collect the 15 of Cody Ware as well, substituting for Barry, who's driving the number 6, and the caution is going to fly here from Talladega just before green flag pit stops were about to kick off. Everybody now, of course, going to pit under yellow, and it's going to be, I believe, a 1-lap dash. But look what happened. Right when the caution came out, I just ever so slightly tapped the rear bumper of the 24. We restart P2, but you guys already know exactly what's about to happen. So we are going to pull out of the way as soon as we can, as soon as we know, and sure enough, the car is not taking off, and it's a 1-lap dash for the stage win. We went from being in position to win the stage. Now we're probably going to be lucky to be top 20 when the stage is over. Of course, I could just stay in the way of other cars when this happens, but I just don't really feel like that's the right thing to do, even in a video game. So nonetheless, we have to deal with the bug in this game and just try to hang on and prepare for stage 2 at this point. Now William Byron leads the way. Ryan Priest goes past me. I kind of threw a block on the 34, but here comes Alex Bowman in the number 19. We were talking about him earlier. He has been so strong in the last 3 races, top 3 in the last 3 for Alex Bowman. I mean, what a tear he has been on as we exit turn 4. Down the front straightaway, William Byron leads through the tri-oval. Not much competition. It's single file through about 5th. William Byron's going to come through to win stage number 1 as we cross the stripe just outside of the top 20 in 23rd. Nobody's going to pit here, of course. We all just pitted and only ran 1 lap under green. So we'll all stay out and get ready to go back racing here for the start of stage 2. Obviously not the situation we expected to really be in or wanted to find ourselves in, of course, going into the second stage, but we got a lot of racing left. We've worked our way forward through one stage. We can absolutely do it again. So we get back underway here for stage number 2 behind the 51 of Ryan Priest. He's lined up behind the 43 of William Sawalich now, and rumors about, not necessarily Sawalich, but rumors about Legacy Motor Club potentially being on the way out at season's end. I mean, they have been an independent team for quite a few seasons now, and they have done nothing. Of course, they downsized to a one-car team this season, trying to turn things around, and haven't really been successful in doing that. And William Sawalich here, I think he deserves a better opportunity, and maybe even, I think, you know, a team like Tricon, it could be maybe a team that maybe is on the uprising for the Toyota camp that he's in going forward. But of course, Tricon just in their first season with Taylor Gray behind the wheel of that number 56, has been exciting to watch. Although that team has had a slow start to their season, I wouldn't be surprised if that's a team that is almost like a 23-11. You know, they have like a 5-year plan, and they continue to improve as seasons go on. Of course, we're not going to get 5 seasons still out of this career mode before the next NASCAR game, but that's kind of the idea for Tricon in this kind of plot as we continue following that 19 of Alex Bowman down this back straightaway, lap 3 of 12. And by not pitting at the end of stage 1. We've got 12 laps here in the stage, so by not pitting, we're actually all short just by a little bit here, by a few laps. So it's going to make it really awkward. It's going to be some green flag pit stops within the last couple of laps, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone's saving fuel maybe in the draft and has a chance to maybe stretch it. But nonetheless, we're up to P9 as we continue to follow Bowman, now up into P7 with 8 laps to go. And my plan is pretty straightforward here. We're just going to run this out and see what happens, of course. And if we get the caution, great. If we don't, we'll just pit under green. Whatever happens, happens. But I wasn't really looking to, put myself in a position where I needed to save fuel or anything. So nonetheless, we continue to follow this Ally Financial, number 19 through 3 and 4. And there you got William Byron continuing to lead, as now Bowman's going to pass his former car, the 48. Carruth going the wrong direction. Carruth's had a rough few races, putting him outside of the playoffs now. And here we go, pushing the 19, maybe alongside, yes, to the inside of the 24 of William Byron, who's been in control since the end of stage 1. He loses control now midway through stage 2. Hello, Alex Bowman, back out in front. I say thank you very much. I'll look to the inside for the lead, but I don't have the speed I need. Bowman re-clears us down this front stretch into the tri-oval. He'll get back down, but I do believe we're going to have a good opportunity right here to pass this 19 in the coming laps. Going for a move now, he covers it off with 6 to go. Alex Bowman, I mean, has reinvented himself here this season with this opportunity at Joe Gibbs Racing, proving a lot of people wrong. And look at the spread of this field. It's certainly a bit different, but we're going to kind of dig the ankles out NHL style there. Push Bowman up, deke back low, and now put ourselves in position to take the lead here from Talladega now, as we are in front in this Target 8. The Flames, the red and white beauty paint scheme, it's so awesome looking, and I love putting it out front here early on in this season now a few times. But Bowman comes fighting back strong over the next few laps. Lap 10 coming to 2 to go. Well, we see pit stops. We got 2 laps of field now. There it is behind us. Gibbs, former teammate and former Cup champ, into the pits now. Carruth will get hooked up to the back bumper, and he'll continue to push me out forward, but I don't believe anybody can make it. But I don't know, someone's probably going to try and stretch it. I do believe someone's going to try and stretch it. We're staying out as long as possible. Even if we run out on the final lap, I'm going to try and stretch it. Now Eric Jones out of the pit lane. He's right in front of everyone around us, and they all stomp on the brake pedal. They are too stupid to go around them. So now we extend our lead, and now as we come through to the start of the final lap, we've made our bet at this point, but so have others. Carruth is still here right behind us now as we're passing the 24, the 99 of Kyle Busch, and others as well, as Ross Chastain's right there. I don't have enough field to make it to the checkered of the stage. We need a caution, otherwise I'll be limping it back around, and there's the caution. Yellow is out, and it's because of 24. Tire failure on the Valvoline machine. Byron brings out the yellow on the final lap of stage 2, saving us and winning us stage 2. And the downside is we have to pit and give up a bunch of track position, but 29th on down is a lap down, including Byron, Busch, Briscoe, Kyle Larson, Jesse Love, Busher, Zilich, big names right there, as Jones gets the free pass. We go down to P11 after making the pit stop. But what an interesting sequence right there to end stage number 2. Of course, just with the way stage 1 ended and everything, it kind of gave us some awkward lap counts on fuel and whatnot for stage 2. If we would have pitted at the end of stage 1, we would have been able to make it to the end of stage 2, no problem. Everybody would have been able to make it, of course, to the end of the stage. So just a really awkward situation there that, of course, set that scenario up, and now we've got several drivers, including the big names of Busch and Larson, trapped a lap down. Zilich as well as Jesse Love is now, we're getting aggressive right off the bat, back into the top 5. Bubba Wallace going to push me now. We'll dive 3 wide outside. Actually, no, it's just 2 wide. Now it's 3 wide. Brent Cruz there, one of the Rookie of the Year competitors, as we get to the back of the 15 of Cody Ware. Rick Ware racing 1-2 as I dive down now to the middle lane with help from the 31. Not afraid to put it up to the outside. Of course, I get some flack sometimes in the comments of, well, why don't you just run the inside all race so you just lead the whole thing? And well, that is one of the most boring ways to run a race. So we get ourselves in position when we need to be in position, but if we can find other ways to spice it up, I love to use the outside and make that outside go and get to the front using that outside, because it's very possible to put yourself to the front. You don't always have to rely on the inside, although the inside line's the easiest. It's not impossible to make the outside line work, the middle lane work. I've done it before. We're going to try it right here. 2 wins, of course, to our name this season. We can try these riskier ways to try and take over the lead now as Tyler Reddick's going backwards. Joey Logano out in front. 1 win on the season for him. It was short-lived. He would go to the back pretty quickly. 3 wide on the outside. Now pushing the back of the 51 of Priest. How about Taylor Gray for Tricon up in the mix? Rajan Caruth out in front as I'm going to hang out the 51, but we got that 31 pushing us. And the 4 of Carson Hocevar, our JRM teammate, of course, coming up the inside as well. He would be directly alongside me, starting lap 35 of 47. Now Sawalaj up here in the mix. Caruth, Gray, Hocevar, myself, your top 5. A few drivers right here in front of us that would love to go to victory lane, of course, with Gray being Rookie of the Year competitor. He's done some cup races in the past. He drove the 47 a few races a few seasons back for Corey Heim, who substituted for another driver as well as we come through this tri-oval now. And a little bit of a slide from the 55, maybe got a little bit too much into his back bumper. Hocevar jumps up in front of us with 12 laps to go now, and Caruth is still in control, gets back down to the inside in front of the 43 of Sawalaj now as we head down this bank straightaway, committing to this outside. Look at this, pushing Hocevar 3 wide to the outside for the lead here from Talladega with help from the 31 of Brent Cruz now as we roll through the middle of 3 and 4. 3 wide for the lead. Hocevar all the way up on the outside as we try to continue this momentum, but it's kind of dying out as we exit turn 4. In the background, you can see in the mirror at least Retzlaff, Elliott as well coming up into the mix now. Christopher Bell, 2-time winner on the season, the only other multi-race winner outside of myself on this season now into the mix, but unfortunately this outside lane starts to die out as Chandler Smith takes the lead on the bottom. Sawalaj has jumped up to the outside, and if I can't be second in line on the far outside, then I don't really want to be on the outside, so I immediately hang this line out. Even if it's a teammate, I gotta go and save my race with 10 laps to go. But like I said, if I can't be second in line, I don't want to be, of course, in that far outside line. And on top of that, I don't want to be leading the far outside line as well, simply because it's just I don't really feel like the AI are as good enough to push, so I like to be second in lane because I feel like the third car can stick with me pretty well and I can be right on the back bumper of the first car in line, but leading isn't the worst case scenario either. We'll certainly deal with that if we need to as we continue on. Caruth now going backwards now as we head down this front stretch, approaching the final under 10 laps to go in this race now as we continue inside the top 10, but lacking opportunities to get to the inside. So when I was seeking out the inside lane was when the opportunities were starting to kind of fade out to get to that inside lane here now as we're behind the 55 of Taylor Gray as we come through this tri-oval, and now to lap 40 to the inside of Chandler Smith. We pass him. He's given up the lead of this race. Do we stay green to the end? If we do, we're going to see some green flag pit stops here momentarily now, as I was trying to get the 31 connected to my rear bumper so we can make a run to this third lane, because clearly where we are right now is not working. So I'm trying to now back up a little bit to the front bumper of Brent Cruz, and then we can maybe draft our way up to the third lane and gain some track position. But he was continuing to lift off when I was lifting off, so he's doing exactly the opposite of what I would prefer him to be doing right now. Alex Bowman to my inside. Now we're right on the back of the 55 as green flag pit stops could be kicking off here within the next few laps here. And now as we exit turn 4, will we see anybody pit this lap? Yes, Bubba Wallace in, and I believe that was Ty Gibbs in the 54 as well coming into the pit lane as we continue through the tri-oval. Now that's going to put us at just 6 laps to go. We make a run to the outside, now to the back of Christopher Bell, and trouble through one. It's a blown tire for the 51 of Priest, and that's going to bring out a caution again, and that's going to force a late race restart from P10. We're going to pit. We're really just going to take a splash of fuel just to make sure we can make it. Of course, we are still short, and we have got enough fuel to take right side tires, but we actually give up 5 positions in the pit lane. So not ideal. Of course, a few drivers had hit the pit lane and stayed out, including Bubba Wallace and I believe the 54 of Ty Gibbs. So we're back underway. We give up 5 spots. We're now on the inside lane, but we're not going to hesitate to jump all over the place if we need to, because we only got 3 laps to go, so you can't necessarily just wait it out on the inside to go forward. We don't have enough time to do that, so we got to go as soon as we get any opportunity of clearing. We just got to go for it. Here now is Chase Elliott. He'll line up behind us. Elliott's still seeking his first win. Hendrick Motorsports is still seeking victory here this season as we head down this back straightaway into turn 3. I don't remember the last time it took Hendrick Motorsports this long to win a race in a career mode season. As we jump up to the outside, right to the back of the 54. That inside lane was kind of stalled out. We had to go for it. Now as we approach 2 to go, we hang out the 54, but I had hoped the 31 would go with me, but he doesn't, so that kind of stalls my momentum and kind of broke my plan, as I was hoping to bring the 31 down to the middle. He would keep pushing me. I think what happened there was I just simply changed lanes too quickly for him to actually maintain with me. So now we're directly alongside Elliott and Gibbs right in the middle. Bubba Wallace for Andretti Global still in the playoff conversation, been exceeding expectations for Andretti Global, but we get aggressive to the outside again. Can't wait. We got to go with a lap and a half left, but we're now 3 wide on the outside as we approach the final lap. Look at the mess behind us. Actually, I think we're just 2 wide. White flag in the air. Now clear with 1 lap to go. Do we continue to make the outside work? I don't think it's going to work. There's our teammate of Justin Allgaier. We'll jump down to the inside. Parker Retzlaff leads over Zane Smith. Alex Bowman top 3 again. Smoke pouring out of Zane Smith. Caution's gonna fly on the final lap, and Parker Retzlaff leads, and he's gonna win in Talladega. Unbelievable. GMS Racing split from Legacy Motor Club, and Retzlaff wins. Zane Smith blows a tire, finishes second with that, and Alex Bowman continues 4 consecutive top 3 finishes. Unbelievable for that team, though, in the 94 camp of Parker Retzlaff and GMS Racing. Now, the negatives for them is, if there is a negative, they have not made it so far into the top 30 in the standings, so they're not yet in the playoffs. Christopher Bell and myself still on top over Bowman, Love, Jones, Logano. You see as well the 6th guard, Josh Berry. Of course, that'll be Christian Nickus next episode. We are manually taking his points down now because of the injury, so he is not actually in the playoffs, meaning Gregson's actually the last driver in by a single point over Chandler Smith, Byron, Gibbs, Bush. Some big names just outside the playoffs. This is going to be one heck of a playoff this season, but Retzlaff is 33rd in the standings. He could very much make the playoffs still this season and make that top 30 in the points. 2 road courses on the way. Road America usually got some spice in that one. I'll see you guys next episode after a bit of a disappointing result, but still can't complain about a top 10. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.